Hi everybody, welcome to Volume 1 of the Stuffy and Friends Shorts Omnibus. Other volumes to follow. The bits you're about to watch have all been previously released as YouTube shorts over the past year or so and were also premiered by Steve on his Ask Away livestream series. But now, you not only get them all in one video, you also get them in their full original aspect ratios and the highest quality. Sadly, we couldn't do anything about the quality of the jokes. I was hoping to be joined for these host segments by a special guest, but it doesn't seem like he's going to make it. So, in that case, without further ado... Hi, where are you? I had to start the show without...
Stuffy, my deepest apologies for not appearing as your co-host for this presentation of shorts, in none of which I actually appear. However, more important events are afoot. I urge you to meet me at once so that I might explain in more copious detail.
Of course. Meet you where?
Where else? The stage!
Hans? Hello? Okay, so I think I know where he's talking about. I'm going to go see what's going on. In the meantime, let's watch the first few shorts. I'll be back later. Enjoy!
Okay, just hold still.
I'll do my best.
And I think that is just about... Oh, forgot the coffee cup. All right, there. That is just about perfect.
Shouldn't I have a little hat?
Oh, I'm going to add the hat in post. So, yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. This is fine.
That is perfect. That is perfect, Stuffy.
Well, except for the fact that the house is supposed to be on fire.
Ah, I left the gas can in the garage. I'll be right back. Steve, no! God damn it.
What?
I just realized something.
That our society is inevitably headed toward either fundamental reform or catastrophic collapse because it's unsustainable in its present form?
No, a Wendys Frosty is just chocolate soft serve ice cream.
What?
All these years they've been marketing it like it's some unique special thing, but it's just a cup of soft serve ice cream.
But you like soft serve ice cream, so why does it matter what they call it?
It's the principle of the thing, Stuffy.
What principle would that be?
Wait, what are the options?
So, we never talked about it. What do you think about Adnan Syed being released from prison?
Assuming he didn't actually kill that girl, I think it's great.
So your view that it's a good thing is conditional on him being innocent?
Well, yeah, obviously. Do you want me to say it's a good thing even if he's guilty?
No, but your opinion carries less weight if you express it in a conditional way like that. What if you said, I'm an Orioles fan, assuming they win the World Series next year?
Then I wouldn't be an Orioles fan, would I?
Maybe not, but you never...
Nobody would! Ever! Did you see this tweet about the students at a religious college who couldn't think of any differences between Catholics and Baptists?
I did see that. It's too bad no one ever told them how you can really tell the difference.
It's the baptism thing, right? Catholics sprinkle and Baptists dunk.
Well, yes, but unless you happen to be at a baptism, you can't tell that just by looking.
Is it the clothes? Catholics wear black with the tab collars and Baptists just dress like ordinary racist white people?
That's only the clergy.
Baptists all have nipple piercings.
I don't think so.
The Catholic Church has a rigid ecclesiastical structure, starting at the top with the Pope and going all the way down to the local parish priests, while the Baptists are largely decentralized and non-hierarchical?
Again, you can't really tell that just by looking at someone.
Well then what? What is it, Stuffy?
It's that Catholics actually talk to each other when they see each other at the liquor store.
Kind of a weak punchline after all that.
I'll try to tighten it up. I'm headed out to the grocery store. Can I get you anything while I'm there?
Will you buy me a garden?
I was just gonna run to Martin's real quick. I don't think they have...
Where my flowers can bloom?
Okay, now
Will you buy me a new car?
I see what you're doing, but...
Perfect, shiny, and new?
I really have to go so I can get back in time
Will you buy me that big house way up in the West Hills?
Please just tell me if there's anything you actually...
Will you buy me a new life, Stuffy? Will you buy me a new life?
That's not on my list.
Were you going to get more milk?
Yep.
Then I'm good.
And please cut the cards. Which half would you like?
This one.
Okay, pick that one up, please. Now, think of the secret number you chose at the beginning and deal that many cards face down onto the table.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Take the last card you dealt and flip it over, please. Is that your card?
Oh, Jesus Christ, that is my card! What the fuck? How did you do that?
No, Steve, it's not your card. I'm setting up a surprise ending.
He's a witch!
The card you picked is...
He's a witch!
In your shoe. Hans?
Here. Join me, my friend. Stand upon the stage with me.
Okay. Hans, is everything okay? When you didn't show up to co-host the Shorts Omnibus with me, I was worried. And now...
The Shorts Omnibus is a smokescreen. Ask yourself, why would a collection of previously released material require a host, let alone co-hosts? Why not simply present the shorts?
I suppose the idea is to add a little bit of fresh material so that people who watch the Omnibus having seen the shorts already will get to see something new.
And those who have not seen the shorts already, for whom it is all new material?
Well, the shorts are all pretty standalone, so maybe having host segments every so often helps to tie the video together.
9, this is not the answer. You must look deeper. Stare directly into the inky blackness in order to see the truth.
Do you mean the actual blackness in here, or more of a metaphorical blackness?
I fear you will be unable to perceive it for yourself. Come, allow me to be the Virgil to your Dante on this infernal journey of discovery.
Are you parked nearby?
I arrived via public transportation.
Oh, well, I can drive if you want. I'm in the central lot a block up from here.
Wunderbar.
Oh no.
What?
I just noticed this email that's been sitting in my inbox for almost 2 weeks. I totally forgot about it. I hope they don't think I'm ghosting them.
You'd never ghost someone.
I wouldn't mean to anyway. Have you ever ghosted someone?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Did you feel bad about it?
Of course I felt bad about it.
But you'd do it again. But you'd do it again? Are you trying to ghost me right now? Because it doesn't really work when you're in the same room.
You got it, didn't you? What's your rule for dropping food on the floor?
My rule is to try not to do it.
No, I mean for whether or not you'll eat it.
I don't eat food that's been dropped on the floor.
Really?
Really?
But you're a dog.
Yes, but I'm not an animal. If I were to find myself with 2 free passes for Hershey Park this summer, would you want to go with me, or should I ask someone else? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just... You seemed really lost in thought just now. Is there something on your mind?
I was thinking about how if you have sex with someone who's 2 years younger than you, that means that when you were a freshman in high school, they were a 7th grader.
Okay. And?
That shit ain't right.
Not at those ages, but once they're both adults, it's not a problem. Right?
Is Hershey Park where they have those waffle ice cream sandwiches?
I think that's Knoebels.
I'll have to get back to you.
Do you ever stop and think about how unusual you are?
You mean because of my rare, perhaps even unique combination of wit, ethical clarity, and raw, almost overpowering sex appeal?
No, I mean because you do things like freeze your peanut butter sandwiches.
Of course not. Frozen peanut butter sandwiches are awesome.
Right? But most people don't eat them that way. Hence, unusual.
I don't like to think of it like that. I prefer to put the focus on other people and the fact that they're all doing it wrong. Does that make me a bad person?
Not as long as you don't say that the way other people make peanut butter sandwiches is a sign of some kind of moral inferiority or character flaw on their part.
Well, of course I would never say that.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I just privately believe it.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. I would totally say it.
What you reading?
A biography of Stephen Foster.
Any good?
Oh, yes. He composed so many timeless songs, but died young and penniless.
So many great artists are unappreciated in their own lives. Take me, for example. I've written lots of great songs that nobody's probably ever going to hear because the world fails to recognize my genius.
Can you name one of those songs?
What about that Pee-wee's Playhouse-themed parody of Zombie by the Cranberries that I wrote?
He's just ahead, Jambe, Jambe. It's very specific.
Wait until you hear it with musical accompaniment. Stay here, I'll go get my concertina.
There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more.
Stuffy. Check this out. What do you think?
It's funny.
That's all you have to say?
You're using a string to lift your arm instead of just lifting it using your muscles. It's absurd and contrived and completely without purpose, which is what makes it funny. Which is the reaction you're going for, right?
I think it's ingenious. Brilliant, even.
You've invented a more complicated, less effective way to do something you could easily do already. So I suppose you are brilliant. In an Elon Musk sort of way.
You don't have to get nasty about it.
Is it much farther?
Continue driving straight. I will direct you as necessary.
Okay. Did you do anything special for New Year?
Have I ever told you the story of the time I met the grandson of the illegitimate child of Emil Jannings?
I don't think so. Did you want to tell me now?
I had traveled on foot many tens of miles across open country to Munich to seek work as an actor at the venerable Bavaria Studios. To my consternation, and despite my best persuasive efforts, I was turned away by a security guard who lacked boldness and vision. Hoping to drown my sorrows, I sought refuge in a nearby Kneipe, or as our mutual friend Jack McPherson would call it, a pub. There, in a lonely, darkened corner of the establishment, I saw him. Thinking I detected a resemblance to his famed ancestor, I approached and tentatively engaged him in conversation. After several minutes of chit-chat about the motion picture business and its intrinsic cruelty toward artists such as ourselves, For my new companion was also an actor. He involuntarily confirmed my suspicion. He was the grand bastard of the illustrious and iniquitous Emil Jannings, who had been one of the greatest stars in all of German cinema in the silent era, but who went on to star in propaganda films produced under the auspices of the Third Reich, and in doing so blighted his reputation and legacy with the ineradicable stain of collaboration. I bought my friend a beer, and then another. We sat across from one another and talked for many hours. We spoke of the futility of faith, the cold, unbreakable grip of generational guilt, the beguiling but delusive promise of redemption, the usual. When the landlord told us it was closing time, we stepped out onto the sidewalk, stood side by side for a final moment, then walked off in opposite directions. I never saw him again.
What was his name?
I asked him that. He could not bear to tell me.
Was he ever in anything?
Turn left now!
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything.
You're saying something.
I'm just saying it's something to consider.
So you're saying consider it.
I'm saying consider it.
And what if after I consider it I decide my answer is no?
You should decide to do whatever you think is best. But before you decide your answer is no, you should consider it.
I'll consider it, but I'm not making any promises.
Fair enough, as long as you promise to consider it.
I promise to consider it, but you have to promise that if I decide my answer is no, you'll be okay with it.
Oh, I can't promise that.
Why not?
I promise to respect your right to decide whatever you decide to decide, but I can't promise not to feel any sort of way about it.
So what are you saying? Was that your Uncle Floppy you were on the phone with this morning?
It sure was. He was calling to see if I was coming to the wedding.
Are you?
Well, it's in Arizona, so it's a long trip. But I've always liked Uncle Floppy. And I've only ever seen pictures of his fiancée. I feel like I should get to know my new aunt.
I guess that makes sense.
Do you want to come with me? You can be my +1.
I'll go if you can't find someone else to go with you.
Okay.
But please find someone else to go with you. I'd rather hammer a railroad spike through my own scrotum than go to a wedding.
Duly noted.
This one goes on the top shelf. So what's his fiancée like? Is she a dog?
Steve.
You know what I meant. You know what bugs me?
You're looking for just one answer?
We know the solutions already to a bunch of our most serious social problems. Homelessness, give people houses. Hunger, give people food. Poverty, give people money. Gun violence, get rid of the guns. So why haven't we fixed any of these problems yet?
Perhaps because while the solutions are obvious, actually implementing them would be an extremely complex problem in itself.
Right, but we're not even trying. I thought this was the greatest country on earth. We went to the moon. We won World War II. We even ended slavery up to a point. What happened to that good old American can-do spirit?
It's been strangled for decades by people who profit from those problems you mentioned and don't want them solved.
That's right. Ugh.
What's up?
I saw Star Trek Deep Space Nine was trending on Twitter, and it's because a bunch of fans are like, they should give the Deep Space Nine cast a new show, just like they did for the TNG cast with Picard. Not an original thought in their heads. I swear to God, give them half a chance and Star Trek nerds will fucking ruin everything.
But aren't you a Star Trek nerd?
Yeah, but I'm one of the good ones.
What makes you one of the good ones?
What makes me one of the good ones?
Yes.
Because when I watch Star Trek, I'm more focused on, like, other nerds. The nerds I'm talking about, they're all about, like, the ships and the aliens, and whereas my interest is more centered on, like, I just think my opinions are better.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Not at all. Glad I could help. Ah! Stuffy?
I'll be right there.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Ah, Jesus Christ!
What? I said I'd be right there.
Did I wake you?
By screaming for me in the middle of the night? Yes. But that's okay. What happened?
I had a bad dream. It was the one about the spider who plays the world's smallest violin and the world's smallest viola at the same time. Can you help me get back to sleep?
Sure. Do you want the usual treatment?
Yes, please.
Okay. The reason certain characters in The Lord of the Rings have multiple names is...
Would that be an allusion to one of the only gags from Star Trek Lower Decks I actually think is funny?
Yes, it would.
And by doing this, you've turned that gag into a direct, literal reference that takes the place of a proper, well-crafted joke. Which you know I hate.
That's correct.
Well played.
Thank you. This is what you wanted to show me?
It is but a step along our journey, not our ultimate destination. Do you know this place?
It's where the stadium used to be before they tore it down. Steve and I came to baseball games here sometimes.
Now it is empty and abandoned, populated only by ghosts, where once the people of the city gathered to shout in jubilation at the exploits of their heroes. There is only the wind. Such is the fate of all things. To bring joy, to be invested with value, to mean something for a short season, and then, for the remainder of eternity, to mean nothing.
Well, they built a new stadium downtown.
Naturally, like parents conceiving a new child once they have grown tired of their firstborn, such is the inconstant nature of the denizens of planet Earth.
We're probably going to try to get tickets to opening day at the new ballpark if you wanted to come with us.
Field level or upper deck?
I don't think it has an upper deck.
I'll think about it.
Hi, Steve. What are you up to?
Oh, not much. I'm trying to rewrite old sayings.
I see. What have you come up with?
When life gives you lemons, cut it in half and suck it dry.
Interesting. What else?
Blood is thicker than water, but honey is thicker than blood, and you catch more flies with it.
Good information to have.
Fall 7 times, stand up 8, but also maybe take the hint.
Sensible.
Hang with this when it takes a couple of turns. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Turn a man into a fish, and you can feed him to someone else.
Definitely outside the box. Any others?
Good things come to those who masturbate for long enough. What do you think?
If at first you don't succeed.
Oh, ha, ha, ha!
I'm heading out to pick up something for dinner. Do you want anything? I thought I'd try that new vegetarian seafood place.
Satan of the Sea? I'm writing a script. Give me a minute and I'll come with you.
Okay. Do you have a plan B for what you'd do if for some reason YouTube stopped being a viable career?
My needs are few. I could probably make ends meet going door to door selling grit.
Do they even still publish that magazine?
I don't know.
Do you have a plan C?
What do you think?
Well,
My plan B was selling grit, dude. Is that mystery novel you're reading still good?
Yes. In the previous chapter, the police inspector arrested Dr. Proctor for the murder of Nurse Mertz after he recovered the murder weapon, an ice pick.
So Dr. Proctor punctured Nurse Mertz?
But that's not all.
There's more to Nurse Mertz's malicious murder?
Maybe. They also found DNA on the murder weapon belonging to Mr. Bowman's personal assistant, Kyle Carson, and an eyewitness came forward to say that he saw Dr. Proctor take money out of Mrs. Pepper's stolen purse and give it to Carson the day before Nurse Mertz was murdered.
So Dr. Proctor pilfered Pepper's purse to knife cash to bribe Bowman's butler, Kyle Carson, to commit the killing?
Conceivable.
Unbelievable. You know my least favorite part of summer?
The heat?
The heat! But, do you know my favorite part of the heat?
Being able to fry eggs on the driveway?
Close, but no. It's the undeniable pleasure of turning the pillow over to the cool side.
I don't get that. The effect of the cool side of the pillow is a lot less noticeable when you're covered in fur.
Good point. You could always put your pillow in the freezer before bed. I bet then it would be cool enough for you to feel the difference.
Probably, but if I'm going to go to those lengths, I might as well just cut out the middleman and sleep in the freezer.
God, can you imagine how drunk you'd need to be to even think about crawling inside a freezer to sleep?
Oi, shut the door. How the hell am I supposed to sleep with that bloody light on?
Did you know he was there? Okay, 20 questions. Let's make it interesting. $20. You ask, I answer. I take away $1 for every question. If you guess right, you keep whatever's on the table.
Why do you have $20 in ones in your wallet?
Never mind. Okay, I'm thinking of something. You all set?
It wouldn't be fair for me to take your money like this.
Bit presumptuous, aren't we? Don't worry, Stuffy. You're not getting one of these dollars. Whenever you're ready.
Is it a person?
Yes.
Is it Patrick Swayze?
God damn it!
You were right. I didn't get one of them.
If boys go to Mars to get more candy bars, and girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider, where do non-binary people go? And why?
What's the next planet after Jupiter? Saturn?
Saturn.
NBs go to Saturn to keep up the pattern? I don't like it either. Just acting according to an established pattern doesn't seem like a very NB thing to do.
Let me check Rhyme Zone. NBs go to Saturn to get more slattern?
Slattern means a slovenly woman, and it has traditionally been used to insult sex workers.
Okay, but that's only 2 strikes.
Why do girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider?
Because boys came up with the rhyme?
That tracks. NBs go to Saturn to open up a tavern?
That's the one.
Where's the tavern open?
Behold the most awesome and terrifying sight in all of nature, made that much more so by its sheer mundanity. The setting sun, the dying of the light.
It's a beautiful one this evening. Such striking colors.
A beauty that was but cold comfort to our primitive ancestors. From the first moment intelligent eyes beheld the sky, they knew the fear of watching helplessly as the day faded into darkness.
Didn't intelligent life evolve from animals who had already existed for countless generations? They would have been used to the sunset. I don't think what you're saying is true.
It may not be true historically, but that is not my province. I am concerned with the deeper truth accessible only through art.
Wait, is that what this tour of the city has been? A work of performance art? We did start out on a stage.
Every moment of our lives is a work of performance art, wrought upon the only stage upon which anyone ever truly stands, the world itself, and performed for the first and only audience, ourselves.
So, was that a yes?
Come, my friend, our day's journey into night is nearing its conclusion, and our most important stop lies ahead, our final destination.
Okay, but we're still going to be alive after this is over, right?
For a time.
That's not the reassurance I was looking for.
Why do they call them cowboys when they ride horses and they're fully grown? Ought to call them horsemen.
What are you watching?
An old Gallagher special.
How come they call the big ones telescopes too? They don't get no longer.
When does he start smashing things with the big hammer?
Not until like the last 20 minutes. He needs to get through the topical stuff first.
Why is it the orange is the only fruit named after what color it is? They should name all the fruits like that. Instead of a banana, ought to call it a long yellow.
Didn't his act turn kind of racist toward the end of his life?
Yeah, but this one is too early for that.
Why did Japan, Korea, and Vietnam insist on pretending to be 3 different countries? Don't they know that just confuses people?
Well, I'll leave you to it. Enjoy the melon smashing.
I will.
Why do they say get in a car, but get on a bus? Isn't that dumb?
He really was the thinking man's prop comic.
Do you remember the Shamvag? That sex toy I got as a gag gift a few years ago?
You mean the one you bought for yourself after you got divorced?
As a gag gift, yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of how many times I've used it.
What for?
What else do people use artificial vaginas for?
I meant, why are you trying to think of how many times you've used it?
I decided to sell it. I'm writing a Craigslist ad. I thought I should give some indication of how used it is, you know? Like the mileage on a car.
What does the ad say so far?
For sale, well-loved love toy.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Clean, still reasonably tight, lightly chewed.
I think you're good.
Okay.
Do you suppose it's true that everyone has a kink?
I suppose.
What's yours then?
You first.
I've got 2, and it's a tie. One is when Pedro Pascal kills people.
Oh, like in a TV show.
Whatever. I'm not particular about the details.
Okay, and what's the other one?
Tits.
That's a popular one.
Go on then. Your turn.
Well, when I find someone attractive, what really turns me on is their mind.
Oh, piss off.
I also would have said tits, by the way. What should the laws be?
What are we talking about?
I saw that President Biden is trailing in the polls, so I'm writing him a letter to tell him what the laws should be so he can make better laws and get popular and win the election next year, and I'd like your input.
Oh, well, if you're just asking for a wish list, I'd suggest codifying the right to an abortion and instituting strong civil rights protections for trans people and strengthening federal gun laws.
Right. I've got that stuff already. That's the basics. Get creative. Other than that stuff, what should the laws be?
Some form of universal basic income?
Oh, yes! That is a great idea. I'm going to put that at the top of my list.
Out of curiosity, what was at the top of your list before I said that?
All those who play football on a baseball field shall be killed.
That's your number 1 suggestion?
Well, now it's number 2.
I totally agree. Uh-oh.
What is it?
The host of one of my favorite podcasts just retweeted an article by Palmer J. Crustacean. That might be a red flag.
How do you mean, might? They're boosted a bloody right-winger. Him and his intolerant pseudo-intellectual bollocks. It's not just a red flag, it's permission to pelt him with empty bottles if you ever see him in public.
That might be a little harsh.
I agree with Jack. This isn't to be taken lightly. It's a major red flag. Like if someone says Triple H is their favorite wrestler or wears a shirt with horizontal stripes outside of a nautical setting.
You're right.
Thank you. Don't dress like you work on a boat unless you work on a boat. How hard is that?
Right. What should I do?
Unfollow
Blow
them.
up their podcast studio.
I think I'll unfollow them.
I win. Woo! Pick a number between 1 and 10.
4.
Ugh, no. Pick another one.
What's wrong with 4?
I'm on GrubHub trying to decide where to order supper from. There are 10 restaurants in my rotation. The fourth one is the Chow Cafe, but I don't want to order from the Chow Cafe. To hell with the Chow Cafe.
If it's so bad, how did it wind up in your rotation?
Because they make this amazing farro salad with cucumbers and roasted peppers and crumbled goat cheese. It's to die for.
That sounds delicious. Why not order that?
In December?
I apologize?
Apology accepted.
How about 6?
Pick another one!
Here we are at the end of the first volume of our collected shorts. I hope you all enjoyed them. I didn't get to watch them with you because I had other things going on. And speaking of that, hello, Hans. What was all that about?
My dear friend, have you not solved the mystery that unlocks the meaning hidden within our humble adventure? You approached it on the rooftop where we beheld the sunset when you remembered that we met to begin our journey upon a stage. It is Shakespeare's melancholy Jacques who tells us all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players, and Macbeth who makes of this a darker truth. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury signifying nothing.
So the point of what we did today was that it had no point?
9. Consider the locations we visited. The stage, the site of the baseball park now razed and abandoned, the rooftop where we beheld the sun as it slipped below the horizon. All reminders of the finite and transitory nature of our existence. Even the time spent in your car, brief intervals bridging the past with the future, experiences, connecting experiences, all of which are destined to end.
Okay, so...
But in ending, they give rise to new experiences. On the stage, the curtain falls so that it may rise again. The car ride ends once the destination has been reached. The vacant lot is all that remains of the ballpark. But elsewhere in the city, a new ballpark will soon host its inaugural match.
In baseball, they're called games, not matches.
And the sunset, followed by darkness, followed by the sunrise. The ultimate representation of the cyclical nature of our universe. All things end, but endings yield new beginnings. Death begets life, and the meaning of that life is found not in how long it lasts, but in how well the work of that life is performed.
Wow. That's beautiful, Hans. You're right, it all fits together. How long did it take you to prepare that?
I prepared nothing.
Then we were just driving around randomly?
And yet I was able to derive a meaning and a purpose from those random experiences. I trusted that the muse would reveal the theme of our story as we told it, just as happens with life itself.
That's deep. And it makes perfect sense for this video, since it was all about shorts, which don't last very long but can still be worth watching.
Yeah, alright, don't spell it out like that.
Oh, sorry. I'm not as experienced a storyteller as you are.
I know.
Hey folks, thanks for watching our first Stuffy and Friends Shorts Omnibus. And now, to tell you how you can help us to keep making these videos, here's Jack McPherson. Jack?
Hello. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like, share the video, and subscribe to this channel. And consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron at patreon.com/SteveShives, or by becoming a channel member by clicking the join button. And if you can't be bothered to do any of that, you can fuck right off, you freeloading bastards.
No, come on. You can't be saying that.
Why the hell not?
Not everybody who chooses not to be a patron or a member is a freeloader. Maybe they can't afford it, or they don't watch my videos frequently enough to justify spending money on them. Just watching the video helps me out a lot, not to mention liking, subscribing, or leaving a comment. You should be grateful for anyone who watches and appreciates our video.
Even if I don't see any money from it.
I mean, I don't pay you for these, so you don't see any money from it anyway.
Well, if you expect me to work for free, I'll just piss off back to my room.
What room? You don't even live here.
Don't I?
No. I don't think so. You lived with us in the old place, but since we moved here, you live somewhere else.
Where do I live then?
I don't. I mean, there's a lot of backstory that seems the old version of the show with the new version of the show that hasn't been told yet, so I'm not sure where you live at this point, but I know you don't live here.
And you're positive about that?
No. Do you even want to live here?
Shorter commute, innit?
To shoot videos I don't pay you to be in.
Right then, you can piss off. I'm going home. Wherever that is.
Bye, Jack. I'll call you when I need you.